Salutations everybody, it is Maddie here today, and this is my hot take on the Steam Autumn Sale for 2019. For a lot of people who are new around here, whenever a Steam sale comes around, I give what I call my hot take, where pretty much I go through a majority of the sales. I give my personal recommendations as someone who has the opportunity to play a lot of games out on the market. I actually scoured some of the store page first to see what was available, and there are some really good sales this time around. So if you're looking to break open the wallet, I'm going to be making some suggestions on games that are really good, that are on great sales. Some of them actually recently releasing as of the time of recording this video. Now, one thing I always like to preface with this style of video is that if I don't suggest a game you really like The Witcher 3 or Skyrim or Doom, it's because I've been doing this for a while. I always try to inject new suggestions into these videos, so people who are returning to those sales videos do know that they're getting brand new suggestions, not rehashed ones. So if there's something I don't suggest that maybe you think someone would be interested in, then feel free to fire away in the comments down below with great sales that maybe I didn't mention or that I could have actually just missed. Anyway, let's get to scrolling and seeing what we can spend our cash on. The first one that caught my eye was Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. This is one I really wanted to get around to playing. It's created in the vein of Castlevania by the original creator of it. Now, I think originally at launch, a lot of fans of Iga's work really praised this game, but at the same time there were some tech issues when it first launched that I think shrouded what was apparently a very excellent game. And so now is the time, after things have been patched, it's on a sale for $27. I think this is a good time to hop in if you're looking for a good 2D style game that is an action RPG. I feel like in a day and age where open world games are just so constant, so in your face, and so hollow, that it's nice to have a 2D style game that looks really good. My Friend Pedro for $14. Now, I had a review code for this. I played around with it for a bit of time on the Nintendo Switch. I don't know if the PC is the best place to get it, but it is on sale on the Switch as of the time of recording this video too, and $20 was a great price for it because it's just fun parkour style shooting. It's really hard to describe, but it's so wild, it's so fun. It is an indie game, which is great, so you're supporting an independent developer with it, and they deserve that support because it is such a unique game. Like I said, parkour with guns. So $14, this you can add right to the cart. It could be that extra over-the-top purchase, right? Because I imagine most people watching this video, when you're making purchases, you're probably throwing 2-3 things in there to get to that maybe $60 threshold, right? Like, okay, I'm getting 3 games for $60 instead of 1. This is one you can easily toss in there. Funny enough, did release on my birthday, so you know that's why it's so good if you didn't know. I've never played it, but Jurassic World Evolution is $9 and it's originally $45. It's got great reviews. It is a management style game. You build pretty much your own Jurassic World. Now, I'm not a big Jurassic Park or Jurassic World fan in the first place, so don't take that the wrong way, but I know a lot of people are, and $9 for a builder game is definitely reasonable because these are huge time sinks, so you can get some real bang for your buck. I can't speak to the quality of it, but from what I've read, I have a friend who's played it and enjoyed it, and he loves Jurassic Park. I've heard it is a very good game. Wait, wasn't Destiny 2 always free to play? Why are they listing it as a sale? Like, it used to be $35, it's free to play now. Wasn't this like old news? Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga. So this is episodes 1 through 6 all in one game, only $7. This is a classic. If you haven't played it, do yourself a favor and do so. This is when Lego games, they're not bad now by any stretch of the imagination, but they have voice acting, they go more open world. This was when I think Lego was really at the top of their game. That and the first Marvel superheroes, I think that's when they really had something going for them. But Lego Star Wars is like the pinnacle of the Lego video games, and I think if you haven't played them yet, you'll find a good unique charm in them. The gameplay isn't necessarily deep. It's pressing the square button to attack and you hold circle to build, but it's almost a light puzzle game. So the way they sort of twist scenes from the original Star Wars game is also great. Granted, there is the whole complete series of Lego Star Wars games coming out next year. I believe it's early next year. So keep that in mind if you are to make this purchase, but still, Lego Star Wars, these will always forever be good. They are completely remaking the new ones coming out next year, so there may be changes in those games that may not retain some of the great stuff that was in the original complete saga. Disko Elysium for $32. This one recently released on October 15th, so it's just over a month old. I've heard this is one of the best written RPGs of the generation. Like, it's insanely good and it's very funny. I don't think there's a lot of combat or combat at all. It's pretty much all talking. It's a long game. It's about 80 to 90 hours. And I am so interested in it that while $32, that is a high price, it does certainly boast quality. It does certainly boast replayability. Like, apparently the first 4 hours take place in just the backyard, but the backyard is so deep with conversation and options that it goes on for so much longer. There's actually a character sheet that I'm looking at right now, and it mentions stuff like intellect, psyche, physique, motorics. I don't know if I said that right. Motorics? I've never heard that word. But anyway, it really reminds me of Mansions of Madness. I don't know if any of you have played that board game before, but the character sheet's very reminiscent of that. It's not like, for example, Fallout with its special stats. But what happens in this game is apparently if you invest too much into a certain skill or perk, that will negatively affect you. So it's really hard to be, like, I guess, good at the game, which I love. But anyway, you're a detective in this game, and I think that alone is intriguing enough, right? A detective RPG. So cool. Resident Evil 2 remake for $20. That's a steal. That is a steal. Now, I'm not as head over heels in the terms of I think it's the greatest thing ever, but I also never played the originals to see that true evolution. I mean, I watched videos online, but I don't think that's as deep as, for example, playing this game when it first came out and then playing this again 20 years later, or however long it's been. Still, it does not take away from the fact that I think this is a pinnacle AAA game. It's got a great story, great gameplay, huge improvements from the original. It looks beautiful. The level design is a work of art. They did such a superb job with Resident Evil 2. It's in a top 10 for me this year, which I think is a little bit broad. I have a different top 5, but still, this game's right in there, man. Resident Evil 5, I almost said 5. Oh God, I can hear people crying now. I like Resident Evil 5, what can I say? But Resident Evil 2, it's better. Remnant from the Ashes is $28. Now, I've heard from a lot of people it's kind of like Souls with guns, but most of the recommendations were wait for a sale, or it was a solid game but not great. And so I think, considering it started off at $40, it was already at a discounted price because it was a AA game, and now at $27, I believe those wait for a sale prices would probably sit in this realm here. Do know that this is actually a co-op game, so you can play Remnant from the Ashes with a friend online, and I think that can really improve the enjoyment you have in this game. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice at $40. I have a huge group of friends that all adore this game. I played it for 5 hours. It was just surprisingly, as someone who's played and beat every Souls game, Bloodborne, was not for me. And I thought that was one of the most jarring things ever because it's like a Japanese based game. You know, you got sword battles. Like, I thought it was all the chops to be something I liked, but I just didn't have that investment or that desire to, quote, get good like I did with other FromSoft games. But just because I didn't like it doesn't mean that this is a bad game, because I know for a fact it is a very, very good game. It's very challenging, so good luck, but $40 for this game is a steal as well. It is a Game of the Year contender, and rightfully so. I mean, I don't know how many people don't own it at this point in time, but $8 for Rainbow Six Siege is excellent. I have about 200 hours in this game, mostly from when it actually launched, believe it or not, before a lot of folks were talking about it. I always liked Siege from day one. I thought it was really, really good. But anyway, $8 for this, yes, absolutely. A Plague Tale Innocence for $22, yes, yes, and yes. I really like this one. I recommended it at a buy when I reviewed it for its base price of $45 on PC and $50 on consoles. At $20, I think this is great value, because one of the major complaints that I think folks would have had going into this, and why I personally struggled to give it initially when I was going through my review process, that recommendation, was because of the fact that it was a little bit shorter. You could beat it in about 10 hours. So a couple of sittings and it's done. It's not very replayable. It's very story driven. It's got amazing heavy atmosphere. There's this rat plague going around. You have to use lighting to really be your friend. There's some grim scenes in this game, but like I said, it's a little bit on the shorter side. It's not replayable, but I think even though it offers the quality and deserves its $50, I think for a lot of consumers, it's a little more easy to buy in at $22, knowing you'll probably get just one playthrough out of it. All right, last one is gonna go to Elder Scrolls Online. They recently dropped their Elsewhere expansion. It's $13. As a lot of you know, I am a huge advocate for Elder Scrolls Online. I have stood by that game side since I'd say Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel Unlimited. I've always said since that day, this is a good game now. Funny enough, last night I was having a conversation about Elder Scrolls Online. While I haven't played the Elsewhere expansion, I'll be totally truthful, I was saying how it did justice to the Elder Scrolls franchise like Fallout 76 couldn't. And that doesn't make Elder Scrolls Online suddenly better. It was always a good game from the launch of Tamriel Unlimited and onwards. But I was saying how there was good quests, good writing, great character development, good customization, world exploration, value in the game, replayability, classes. Like, there was so much to this game that was great. And for $13, you get Elder Scrolls Online plus its Elsewhere expansion, the brand new one. I mean, the base game alone is great. I think the expansions only improved the game because they brought in new gameplay mechanics, new classes, new play styles. Pretty much your entry fee is $13 and then you can just keep on playing. If you like all the other expansions, maybe you can look into the Gold Edition, which is always on sale for a cheap price. Hold up, what? I'm just realizing something. December 6th, 2019, is that the release date? Was there new Two Worlds 2 DLC? What? What is this? Picking up immediately after the events of Call of Tenebrae, you and your companions are stunned when the mythical long-lost What? They're still doing DLC for Two Worlds 2? When did Two Worlds 2 come out? Two Worlds 2 HD came out 2011 and they're releasing a new DLC in 2019. That's actually fascinating. It doesn't have great reviews, and I don't mean to get off track here, but oh my God, I've never seen anything like that. Wow. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Elder Scrolls Online Gold Edition wasn't available for sale here, but it does include all of the expansions that already are out for the game if you do find it on sale, maybe on console or something like that. But that'll wrap up a very extensive list of games I would suggest to you to purchase during this sale. You don't have to buy all of them, but you know, one of those might do you some justice. I hope I gave you guys some new stuff to think about. I always try to dig deeper for some unique picks, and I'd love to hear from all of you in the comments down below. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know some of the sales you like. Thank you to all the patrons for making these videos possible, and also for letting me splurge on a sale or two here. You're much appreciated. Anyway, thank you all for giving me your time today. I'd love to hear from you once more in the comments down below. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below, along with my Patreon. Do consider supporting that as it fuels all the content I create here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.